In this segment, I want to talk about a lot of things that spiritualists don't really talk about. And you know what? It's something that I didn't even know about before I embarked upon this journey. So I want to talk about some of the things that I wish I knew before I embarked upon this spiritual journey. Okay. So one thing that I'm going to say is that this spiritual healing journey is anything but pretty. It's anything but cute. And when people be out here acting like this shit is all love and light and sweet, I be like, yo, you are fronting, okay? Because when you really do the work, listen, anybody in here that's watching this right now, let me know in the comments, let me know, is this spiritual shit easy for y'all? Because I feel like when you really doing the work, you really have to go through the dark nights of the soul. Like, I'm talking about, when you're going on a spiritual journey, you have to make sure that you're maintaining your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, because the spiritual is tied into all of these things. And what I realized is that, when we, most of the people that tune into my lives, my channel, we are all, high level thinking beings, right? We know that there is more to life than this superficial shit. And so a lot of the times, because we have high vibrating minds, we like to think about abstract ideas, right? Abstract concepts. But a lot of the times we're not really focusing on the everyday mundane things that still are important. We forget that we're still having a human experience, that we are inside of this human body. We forget that we're really just an eternal soul, just experiencing being an individual at this time in this matrix. And the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is because a lot of the times we like to read books upon alchemy. We like to read books and learn about the ancient dead languages. We want to learn about magic. We want to learn about how to summon all of these powerful energies and entities. But a lot of us don't even know how to have a simple, healthy relationship. Let's talk about that. A lot of us want to focus so much on these abstract ideas instead of really just focusing on ourselves. And sometimes when we go to our ancestors, we go to our spirit guides and we ask them, these high level questions, or these questions about the universe, and these questions about philosophy and all of these crazy things, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with thinking bigger than the basic things. But also, you got to realize, if you have a weak foundation, then everything else from that is also going to be weak. And what is that foundation that we're talking about? We are talking about you. You are the foundation. Everything goes back to self. Everything goes back to source. You are literally, your universe is basically centered around you. And if you don't even know how to love yourself, how can you teach people how to love you? If you don't have boundaries, if you don't understand boundaries, how are you sitting here trying to summon demons and angels and entities and fairies and ancestors when you don't even have boundaries on human beings? And then you trying to deal with these higher level jinn and these super intelligent beings. If you don't know how to handle humans, how are you going to handle these spirits? If you don't know how to control your emotions, how are you going to be able to control and sustain these natural energies in order to channel and make manifestations? You understand that emotions is energy in motion. And when we don't know how to even control our own emotions or what's going on inside of us, how are we going to really try to sit here and create outcomes outside? Sometimes we really got to just dig deeper and realize sometimes it's really not that deep. Sometimes the answer can be so simple. Sometimes some people, they can't tap into their spiritual gifts because they're not drinking enough water.
In 1996, the KKK held a rally and I joined the counter-protest. A man in a Confederate flag shirt found his way into our demonstration. A woman shouted on the bullhorn, "Get him." Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somebody had hit him with a protest sign. He fell to the ground and that crowd started to attack this man. I felt like something had to be done. I laid on top of this man and I was yelling with my whole heart, "Stop!" The crowd stopped. Years later, I was at a coffee house. A guy comes up and he says, "Hey, I want to say thanks." And I said, "Thanks for what?" He said, "That was my dad." And it kind of blew me away. What would have happened if that angry mob would have killed that Klansman? Would hatred been inherited for another generation? Hate breeds hate. That's why we have to use our speech to break the cycle of hate and ignorance. Groups like FIRE are so important. FIRE is committed to defending everyone's right to free speech. Without our freedom of speech, we risk losing our democracy.
Right? Some people be like, I'm not having dreams, I can't communicate with my ancestors, I feel like my gifts are weak. Why? You're not drinking water. Water is very spiritual, and especially with all of these cosmic energies hitting the planet right now, like, yo, we have a retrograde, like, we have freaking an eclipse, like, we got a full moon coming up, a full moon in Scorpio, and you guys know Scorpio is heavy, intense energy, all about the emotions, all about transformation, metamorphosis. So everything that's going on right now, and a lot of people are going through it, like they're going inside of their souls, they're doing the healing, a lot of traumas and past things are coming up, and it's like, yo, like, really, to be honest, I feel like as spiritualists, we also have to start talking about like human issues that we have. Like, I get it, like, you know, I think that we need to start talking more about mental health, and also talking about like our love languages, and talking about like our traumas, talking about our fears, talking about our ambitions and goals, and really kind of like ungutting and unrooting those problems, those deep embedded seeds. Because honestly, and I'm telling you this now, a lot of people come into the spiritual journey leaving the church, but still have that church mentality, being indoctrinated, right? Still looking for somebody to save you, a Christ figure, right? A Messiah. And you know what? Sometimes it may not even be it may not be Jesus. It may not be Muhammad, right? It may not be Buddha. It may not be these particular entities or deities or beings. Sometimes we can make a person a Messiah. Sometimes we can make an addiction a Messiah, something that we think it saves us, or it takes us away from our pain and suffering. It takes us and it distracts us away from what we need to focus on. But sometimes pain is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that pain sometimes is necessary because it's God or spirit or the universe's way of shaking us up and redirecting us on where we really need to be. You feel me? Like, everybody right now, I really feel like we're all going through a universal purging, a universal cleansing right now. And anybody, like, listen, if you've been feeling these energies, if you've been feeling like something is making you go through some type of a transformation right now, if you've been feeling like you've been tested, yo, like, drop it below, drop it in the comments, guys. Talk to me, let me know, because, yo, these energies are so powerful. And one thing I can say is right now, you really want to tap in. You really want to, like, take time to be with self and really ask self, like, yo, what is going on? Right? Like, you know, analyzing the people around you, because with that eclipse that came, eclipses represents endings. And a lot of the times, like, you know, when we're under a lot of stress, we like to cling on to things that make us feel safe and comfortable. But is this a false sense of security, or is this really healthy? Is this really what you need right now? Come on, y'all. Like, we know that we in the matrix. We understand that this is the world of illusions, but we have to also know when it's time to let go of things, people, situations, addictions, and ways of thinking, old systems that don't serve us anymore. It doesn't serve us anymore. So why are we still holding on to these outdated ways of being? This is why we're feeling pain. The universe is redirecting us and saying, no, this is old now. Let this go. Let this go. macrocosm. And I'm telling you, like, after this full moon is over, after this moon cycle is over, like, you're going to be a completely different person. You're going to be transformed. You're going to be changed. Something in your life is going to be drastically different, so get ready for it. And this is happening to everybody right now. Like, this is a macrocosmic thing. Big things, big changes, big transformations, like governments changing. Like, I'm talking about, like, not just like on our interpersonal level, like interpersonal relationships, but a lot of people that's watching this right now, I'm telling you right now, like, even when it comes to the workplace, you may not even want to be at the same career or the same job that you're in. Understand that if you've been having issues with work, if you've been having issues with your job, with career, whatever, the universe is redirecting you, saying that maybe you need to tweak some things. Maybe this is not serving you anymore. Maybe you're just staying here because you're comfortable, but you know that you could be doing more. A lot of people that's watching this right now, you play small. You play small because you've been so used to dimming your light to make everybody else around you feel comfortable. But it's like now what's happening is that you're starting to feel uncomfortable. And I always say this. Somebody once told me, they said, yo, you cannot change a person. A person only changes when they get sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's when they can't take it anymore. It's when they're done. That's the only way people will change, is when they're just fed up with their own bullshit. And sometimes we be in our own way. Let's be real. We like to project. We like to blame other people for our insecurities, but nobody can hurt you without your permission, right? We can't control how people think, how they feel about us, what they do to us. We can only control what we say, how we feel, what we think, what we do. You feel me? We're in control of our universe. We're in control of who's in our circle. We're in control of what we feed and what feeds us. What are you consuming? Be aware of what you're consuming, whether this is social media, whether this is food, whether this is whatever type of information that your consciousness and subconsciousness is absorbing. Understand that that is becoming your reality. You are what you eat. You are what you consume. We gotta have these deep level conversations, family, because I feel as though we are moving into a great purge right now. And listen, anybody else in here been feeling like, yo, I feel like a need to eat cleaner. I feel like when I try to eat unhealthy, my stomach is not handling that right now. My body is like, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not eating those no more. No, we're not doing that. We got to start eating healthy now. We got to start raising our vibration, because there's something that's big that's happening right now where the universe is just kind of like, nah, you can't do that. No, that habit right there, no, cut it out right now. Because I feel like right now, I gotta eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Like, I'm thirsty a lot. I'm hydrating like crazy. I'm not even drinking alcohol. Like, little things is making me. I'm very sensitive to things right now. It's like, yo, my stomach is just not holding it down. It could be my favorite food, and it's like, yo, I'm nauseous. Like, even the smell, like my sense of smell. Anybody else in here, my sense of smell is so strong right now. Everything, my senses are heightened. My emotions are heightened. Super sensitive.